Hello and welcome to updates from the Bullet Newsroom. I am Michael. Remember, you can get interactive with us on all our social media handles at Bullet TV Ghana on Facebook. We're also live on X as well as Instagram, TikTok. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on LinkedIn, and visit www.bullettvonline.com for news update. Let's do some stories from Parliament, where the minority in Parliament is raising alarm over what they describe as constitutional chaos in government, accusing the Attorney General of unlawfully directing the Bank of Ghana to release 350 million Ghana cedis for the relief measures for flood victims, funds under Ganesha proceedings, and demanding the immediate resignation of the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine.
Deputy Minority Leader Patricia Ipeje, who addressed the press in Parliament, revealed that in a letter dated July 1, 2026, signed by the Attorney General himself, the Attorney General acknowledged that the contingency fund, the very fund Parliament approved for flood relief, was under a Ganesha proceeding. Yet, he directed the Bank of Ghana to release 350 million Ghana cedis without delay, citing public interest. According to the minority, the central bank refused to act on that directive. The funds, they allege, were instead withdrawn from another public account, bypassing Parliament approval and violating constitutional provisions.
Today, we stand before you with a document and a revelation. The document is a letter on the letterhead of the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice, dated 1st July 2026, signed by the Attorney General and Minister for Justice himself, and addressed to the Governor of the Bank of Ghana. Copies will be made available to you. The revelation is what happened after the letter was delivered, a sequence of events that exposes a government in constitutional chaos, where the Attorney General directs illegality. The central bank refuses him, and 350 million Ghana cedis of the people's money moves from the Channel Parliament, never approved.
The minority insists these sequence of events amount to deception of Parliament and the nation. They argue that the Ministry of Finance misled the public by announcing a contingency fund release that never occurred.
If the 350 million was drawn from any account other than the contingency fund, then the approval Parliament granted was never executed. The withdrawal that was executed was never approved. And the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, which criminalizes unauthorized withdrawals of public funds, have been violated in broad daylight. The Attorney General is the principal legal advisor to the government and is responsible for the conduct of all civil proceedings against the state. His letter of 1st July 2026 is a written admission of failure on both fronts. As the officer responsible for civil proceedings against the state, he presided over litigation in which a constitutional fund of the Republic was attached, and there's no indication that the attachment was resisted or that any application was made to discharge it.
They are demanding, among other things, as well as the resignation of the Attorney General.
The minority caucus accordingly calls on the Attorney General and Minister of Justice to resign forthwith. Should he fail to do the honorable thing, we call on the President, who swore an oath to preserve, protect, and defend this Constitution, to relieve him of office without delay.
The Ghana AIDS Commission has moved to clarify public concerns following reports about HIV test results recorded during the recent Security Services recruitment exercise. There's more in the following report.
The Commission says the reported 1,300 reactive HIV results out of about 100,000 applicants represents roughly 1.3%, a figure consistent with Ghana's national HIV prevalence rate and not an unusual public health concern. It stressed that a reactive HIV screening result does not amount to a confirmed HIV diagnosis and mustn't be followed by further tests under the nationally approved testing protocol. The Commission also reminded institutions that HIV testing must be conducted with informed consent, confidentiality and proper counseling. It further emphasized that Ghana's laws prohibit discrimination against persons living with HIV in employment and other areas of public life. According to the Commission, HIV status alone should not be used as a basis to deny individuals employment opportunities. The Ghana AIDS Commission is urging responsible public communication on HIV to avoid stigma and support national efforts to end AIDS as a public health threat by 2030.
To the Ashanti region, where the Ghana Police Service has dismantled an alleged drug distribution network suspected of targeting university students in the Ashanti region, leading to the arrest of 44 suspects during a 3-day intelligence-led operation.
The Inspector General of Police, IGP's Special Operations Team, working together with the Ashanti Regional Police Command, carried out coordinated raids between July 3 and July 5 across several communities in the Kumasi metropolis. The operations focused on identified crime hotspots, including Emena New Site, Boedi, Abuabo, Ashtown, Kodie, Bremai, Pankrono, Jinyase, and nearby communities. Police say the exercise resulted in the arrest of 44 suspects made up of 41 men and 3 women for various narcotics-related offenses. Investigators say a major outcome of the operation was the dismantling of an alleged drug distribution network believed to have been producing and distributing narcotic-infused products to university students. Among the principal suspects is Emmanuel Dua, 24, who police allege produced cannabis-laced toffees, advertised the products online, and sold them mainly to students. Another suspect, Richard Boateng, 45, is alleged to have manufactured cannabis-infused alcoholic beverages for distribution to students, while Frederick Eji is suspected to have been a key supplier of cannabis to university students. Police also retrieved 200 sachets of 225 mg tramadol tablets, quantities of 250 mg tramadol tablets, 400 sealed wraps of dried leaves suspected to be narcotic substances, locally prepared fruit juice known as femude believed to contain narcotic substances, a double-door refrigerator containing suspected narcotic concoctions, Rizla rolling papers, a sealed black polythene bag containing suspected narcotic substances, and 9 casino jackpot machines believed to have been used in illegal activities. According to the police, all exhibits have been secured for forensic examination, while the suspects remain in custody assisting with investigations. The service says it is pursuing additional suspects believed to be linked to the network with the aim of dismantling the entire supply chain. The Ghana Police Service has assured students, parents and educational institutions of its commitment to protecting schools and communities from illicit drug trafficking, while encouraging the public to continue providing credible information to support law enforcement efforts.
To other stories, and human trafficking and child labor remain major threats to the rights and future of thousands of children across Ghana. Now, at the 2026 National Justice Conference, Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Dr. Agnes Namomo Latte, has called for sustained investment and stronger collaboration among stakeholders to collaborate and strengthen the country's child protection system and eliminate child labor exploitation. Concerns over the growing incidence of human trafficking and child labor took center stage at the 2026 National Justice Conference as participants called for stronger collaboration among state institutions to combat the crimes. The conference, organized by the International Justice Mission, brought together policymakers, development partners, traditional leaders, law enforcement agencies, and child protection advocates to discuss sustainable solutions to end child labor exploitation. It was on the theme Sustainable Funding for Child Protection Against Labor Exploitation. Speaking at the 2026 National Justice Conference in Accra, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Dr. Agnes Namomolate, advocated a diversified financing module in which the government provided leadership through national planning and public investment, while development partners and other stakeholders complemented such efforts through technical support, service delivery, and responsible business practices.
We work together, all state parties, the three arms of government, and we make sure that it's not just the protection, but also the prosecution is dealt with speedily. You realize that justice will be served and people will be encouraged to report child exploitation issues. Aside that, they will also it will also deter potential perpetrators, and that is the only way we can have safe environment for our children to grow.
Speakers stressed that despite ongoing interventions, many children continue to be trafficked, forced into hazardous labor, and denied access to education and other basic rights. Participants highlighted the need for stricter enforcement of existing laws, improved victim support services, and increased public awareness to prevent vulnerable children from falling prey to traffickers. The conference ended with renewed commitments to strengthen justice delivery, enhance child protection systems, and intensify efforts to eliminate human trafficking and child labor across the country. The Bureau of Ghana Languages is stepping up efforts to make Ghanaian languages more visible and relevant in the country's education system. Now, Acting Executive Director Ebenezer Ahiato Esquire says plans are underway to deepen the publication and distribution of learning materials in local languages across schools and institutions. Now, he argues that promoting indigenous languages is critical to preserving Ghana's cultural identity and strengthening literacy among young learners.
On the need for us, especially, and so that for the need for us to start teaching Ghanaian languages at the secondary school. In other words, to make the teaching of Ghanaian languages. You see, when we were in the secondary school, everybody was supposed to learn one core Ghanaian language. It was compulsory. It really didn't matter your program. So Ghanaian language was a compulsory subject at the secondary school. If you look at the white paper that we prepared to the presidency, the recommendation is that we have to look at this again so that GES will look at it and to make sure that we have a Ghanaian language, one Ghanaian language being a compulsory subject at the secondary level. We admonish Ghanaians to speak the language. You see, we are able to speak our language because of what our parents did to us. When we were young, we spoke the language in the house, but unfortunately, we don't have this today. So we continually admonish Ghanaians to endeavor to let their kids, they should speak the language to their children. And I am sure that by so doing,
a 61-year-old Ghanaian woman has defied the odds by becoming a first-time mother through enhanced in vitro fertilization, offering renewed hope to many women struggling with infertility. Now, she says unwavering faith, perseverance, and prayer carried her through decades of waiting.
For decades, Doris held on to a dream many believed would never come true. She endured years of childlessness, multiple surgeries to remove fibroids, and the emotional burden of waiting for a child. At a stage in life when many women have accepted the end of their childbearing years, Doris refused to give up. Today, at 61, she's celebrating the birth of her first child, a baby girl conceived through a stem cell enhanced into vitro fertilization or IVF procedure at Mary Louise Hospital.
I must be honest with you, you may not believe, but I want you to believe that even on when I was admitted last week Thursday, on Monday, Tuesday I had to go and do some work before I finally settled into the facility. And then on Thursday, I gave birth to this beautiful baby. And so it is glory, glory, glory to the name of our God Almighty. At times, I just marvel at how, fans came in and there was no stress at all. No stress when it comes to funds for this miraculous story. And so we should look up to God. If He has said it, He will provide, and definitely He will see you through.
The hospital says the successful delivery marks a significant milestone in assisted reproductive medicine. Doris gave birth through a cesarean section performed by an obstetric team led by Dr. Davis and Dr. Asamoah, with both mother and baby reported to be in stable condition. According to Mary Lucy Hospital, the procedure combines modern assisted reproductive technology with regenerative medicine to improve fertility outcomes in carefully selected patients, while emphasizing that every case is unique and subject to comprehensive medical evaluation. Doris also expressed gratitude to the medical team at Mary Lucy Hospital that supported her through the IVF treatment, pregnancy, and successful delivery, praising their professionalism, dedication, and compassionate care. Now, proudly holding her daughter in her arms, she says she feels no shame, describing her motherhood journey as the doing of the Lord. Her message to women still waiting to have children is simple: never lose faith and continue to believe. For many, Doris' remarkable story echoes the biblical account of Sarah, who gave birth to Isaac in her old age after years of waiting, a powerful reminder that hope can endure even in the face of seemingly impossible odds.
Meanwhile, the management of Mary Lucy Hospital Limited is appealing to government and the relevant authorities to urgently rehabilitate the road leading to the facility. Now, according to the hospital, the deplorable state of the access road is hampering productivity, making it difficult for patients and staff to access the facility and affecting the delivery of healthcare services. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of Mary Lucy Hospital Limited, Christian Osafo Boateng, spoke to Bullet News.
We have made several attempts speaking to Ministry of Roads and Highways. Not now. Like I said, we've been around for about 20 years. So it's a journey we've been battling on for years. The hospital has done its part, and we continue to do construction of bridges just to enable patients to be able to visit our facility. The only difference here is that because it's capital intensive and we don't have the capacity to fix it all, therefore, this is an additional appeal over time so that people will pay attention, relevant authorities will pay attention and come to our aid. We are appealing first of all to the media to send this message across that Mary Lucy Hospital has restored hope for mothers who have little or no hope at all in having their own children. Then also, we are appealing to the relevant authorities that they should come to our aid. For us, the road is our paramount. And once they do that, we are sure that referral ambulances in and out the hospital will be very easy and accessible and will reduce the risk of patient fatality.
Let's now take a breather. When we return, we'll bring you some business news.
The Ghana Statistical Service has released the country's first nationwide survey on non-standard food measurement units, revealing significant variations in the weights of commonly used local measures across the country. The survey found that non-standard measures such as the Olonka, bundles, heaps and buckets continue to dominate food trade despite considerable differences in the actual quantities they represent. According to the reports, the same measurement unit can correspond to different weights depending on the region, creating inconsistencies in food pricing, agricultural production estimates, and household consumption data. The survey also identified variations in household food measurements, even where seemingly standard containers such as cups and margarine tins are used.
When we treat these units as equal, we introduce errors into our national data, and those small errors can become big national problems. This is why the Ghana Statistical Service conducted the Non-Standard Unit Survey, or INSUS. The purpose was to measure these local units properly, convert them into standard weights like kilograms, and build reliable conversion factors that can be used across Ghana. This directly supports Ghana's development priorities and the Sustainable Development Goals, especially those related to food security, poverty reduction, and economic growth.
To address the inconsistencies, the Ghana Statistical Service has developed national conversion factors that translate commonly used local measurement units into kilograms and liters for major food commodities.
That's all in business. Let's take another breather. We'll return with sports.
Big Scout Media has issued an unqualified apology to the Ghana Football Association and removed all content relating to allegations that Black Stars forward Prince Owusu was asked to surrender part of his earnings in exchange for a national team call-up. The apology follows a cease and desist letter from the GFA's lawyer Odupon and Kishiwale, who described the allegations as false, baseless, and defamatory. In the letter, the law firm said a woman who purported to be Prince Owusu's cousin alleged in a Big Scout Media interview that GFA officials demanded 70% of the player's potential World Cup earnings to facilitate his inclusion in Ghana's squad for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The GFA rejected the allegations, insisting that no official had demanded, solicited, or agreed to receive any percentage of Owusu's earnings in connection with a Black Stars call-up. The association's lawyer demanded that Big Scout Media remove the video and all related publications, stop republishing the allegations, issue a public apology and retraction, preserve all relevant digital materials and confirm compliance within 48 hours, warning that failure to do so could result in illegal proceedings. In a response addressed to the GFA, Big Scout Media confirmed that it had deleted all publications relating to the interview from its social media platform and digital channels. The outlet also pledged not to republish similar allegations in the future and apologized for what it described as its excesses.
That's all for sports. Up next is entertainment.
Award-winning Ghanaian dancehall artist Stonebwoy has called on Ghanaians to continue backing the Black Stars following the team's exit from the 2026 FIFA World Cup, urging supporters to show empathy rather than subject the players to relentless criticism. Speaking during a live session on TikTok, the musician said the severe backlash directed at the national team after the elimination was disheartening, arguing that fans should recognize the deep emotional and professional emotional impact defeats have on the squad. According to Stoneboy, no player enters a global tournament hoping to fail, making it unfairly for the public to assume that the team lacked commitment on the pitch. The Beam Nation president questioned why many supporters are so quick to turn against the Black Stars after tough defeats, reminding fans that only one country can eventually lift the World Cup trophy.
That's all in entertainment. Up next is international.
Ituri province in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo is at the epicenter of the current Ebola outbreak, and medical teams in the region are under pressure to handle growing number of patients. Treatment facilities are building new extensions to increase capacity and improve care conditions. As well as providing medical care, health workers are also working to build trust within communities, an essential factor in preventing the spread of the virus. According to health authorities, treatment capacity has risen to around 10 beds at the start of the outbreak to some 700 beds across 22 centers. But demand remains high, with the centers operating at nearly 90% of their capacity. Plans are in place to add a further 300 beds.
And before we go, you can get more of these stories on our various social media handles at Bullet TV Ghana on Facebook. We're also live on X, as well as Instagram, TikTok. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on LinkedIn, and log on to www.bullettvonline.com for news articles. My name is Michael Adome. Thanks for watching.